This morning is not ordinary. This Monday is not like every other Monday you have survived before. No, this is the day God is about to breathe new strength into your weary soul. While others wake up discouraged, fearful, and defeated, you are waking up with purpose, with power, and with divine direction. There are people who went to sleep last night carrying fear into this morning. Fear about their future, fear about their finances, fear about battles they cannot control. But hear me clearly today. When God stands beside you, no force on earth can stand against you. Some of you listening right now almost gave up last week. You smiled in front of people while secretly fighting silent battles inside your heart. The pressure has been heavy. The pain has been real. The waiting has been exhausting. But God sent me here this Monday morning to remind you your story is not over yet. This is your wake-up call from heaven. Rise above the negativity. Rise above the disappointment. Rise above every voice that told you that you are weak, forgotten, or defeated. The same God who opened doors in the past is still working behind the scenes today. Before you step into your job, before you face that challenge, before you answer another phone call or carry another burden, stop and remember this truth. God has already gone ahead of you into this day. Every obstacle can become an opportunity. Every battle can become a testimony. Every setback can become the setup for a miracle. Do not start this Monday with fear. Start it with faith. Start it believing that something powerful can happen when you trust God completely. Because one moment in the presence of God can change an entire week, and 1 week can change an entire life. So lift your head high this morning. The darkness will not win. The stress will not break you. The enemy will not stop your purpose. This Monday morning, you are walking into victory, favor, strength, and divine protection. And before this message ends, I want you to make a decision. You will not carry yesterday's pain into today's promise. This is a new beginning, a fresh start, a Monday morning miracle. There is something powerful about a Monday morning. It is the beginning of another week, another opportunity, another chance to rise above the pain, disappointment, and struggles that tried to defeat you last week. Many people wake up on Monday carrying stress, fear, anxiety, and uncertainty about what lies ahead. Some are already worried about bills they cannot pay, battles they cannot control, relationships that are falling apart, or doors that seem closed in front of them. The enemy loves to use Monday mornings to fill hearts with dread and discouragement before the day even begins. But today, you must make a decision that you will not start this week with fear. You will start this week with faith. Fear will tell you that nothing will change. Fear will whisper that you are not strong enough for the battles ahead. Fear will remind you of every failure, every mistake, every setback, and every disappointment from your past. It will try to convince you that this week will only bring more frustration, more pain, and more struggle. But faith speaks a different language. Faith says that God is still in control, even when life feels uncertain. Faith says that what looks impossible to man is still possible with God. Faith says that your future is greater than your past, and your present struggle is not the final chapter of your story. When you wake up with faith, you walk differently. You think differently. You face challenges differently. The situation around you may not change overnight, but your spirit changes. Your perspective changes. Instead of expecting defeat, you begin expecting breakthrough. Instead of preparing for failure, you begin preparing for victory. Faith allows you to stand in the middle of chaos while still believing that God will make a way where there seems to be no way. Some of you listening right, now have been through difficult seasons. You have cried silent tears that nobody knows about. You have fought battles in your mind while smiling in front of people. You have prayed prayers that seem unanswered. There were nights when you felt alone, abandoned, and exhausted from carrying burdens that nobody else could see. And now Monday has arrived again, and part of you feels tired before the week has even begun. But hear this clearly today. God did not bring you this far to leave you now. The fact that you woke up this morning is proof that your purpose is not finished. There is still assignment over your life. There is still favor with your name on it. There are still blessings you have not seen, prayers you have not yet received answers for, and miracles that are still on the way. The enemy may have attacked you, but he could not destroy you. The pressure may have shaken you, but it did not break you. You are still standing because the hand of God has been carrying you through every storm. Faith does not mean you ignore reality. Faith means you trust God in the middle of reality. You may still face obstacles this week. There may still be moments of frustration, disappointment, and delay. But when your trust is in God, you know that no obstacle is greater than His power. Every giant can fall. Every closed door can open. Every storm has an expiration date. Fear focuses on the size of the problem, but faith focuses on the greatness of God. Too many people allow fear to control their Monday mornings. They wake up defeated before the battle even begins. They speak negativity over their lives before stepping out of bed. They expect the worst before the day has even started. But your words carry power. What you speak over your life matters. Instead of saying, "This week will be terrible," begin saying, "God is with me this week." Instead of saying, "I cannot handle this," begin saying, "God will strengthen me for every challenge." Instead of speaking defeat, start declaring victory. This Monday morning, choose faith over worry. Choose courage over fear. Choose hope over discouragement. Stop allowing yesterday's failures to control today's possibilities. Your past does not define your future. One bad season does not mean your life is over. One disappointment does not cancel God's promises over your life. Sometimes God allows difficult seasons not to destroy you, but to prepare you. The struggle you survived was building strength inside you. The waiting season was teaching you dependence on God. The pain was producing endurance, wisdom, and spiritual maturity. There is a reason the enemy fights you so hard. There is a reason fear attacks your mind so often. It is because there is greatness inside you. There is purpose inside you. There is destiny connected to your life. The enemy would not waste time attacking someone who has no future. But despite every attack, every setback, and every storm, you are still here. And if God has kept you alive, then He still has a plan for your life this Monday morning. Life has a way of draining people. There are battles that exhaust the body, pressures that overwhelm the mind, and burdens that weigh heavily on the soul. Some people wake up every morning already tired, not because they did not sleep enough, but because life itself has become heavy. They are carrying responsibilities they never expected, fighting struggles they never asked for, and walking through storms they do not understand. There are moments when even the strongest person feels weak. There are seasons when the pressure becomes so intense that you wonder how much more you can endure. But in the middle of every battle, there is one truth you must never forget. God gives strength for every battle ahead. God never promised that life would be easy. He never said there would be no storms, no opposition, or no difficult days. But He did promise that He would never leave you alone in the fight. When your strength runs out, strength begins. When you feel like giving up, God has the power to lift you up again. Human strength has limits, but the strength that comes from God is endless. Many people try to fight life's battles on their own. They depend only on their own wisdom, their own power, and their own understanding. But eventually, the weight becomes too much. Fear enters the mind. Stress takes over the heart. Discouragement begins to steal peace little by little. The enemy wants you to believe that you are alone, abandoned, and powerless against the challenges in front of you. He wants you to feel weak and defeated before the battle even starts. But the devil is a liar. You are not fighting alone. The God who created heaven and earth is standing beside you even now. There are people listening to this who have fought silent battles for a long time. Some are battling financial pressure and wondering how they will survive another month. Some are dealing with heartbreak and emotional pain that nobody else understands. Some are facing health struggles, family problems, or deep disappointments that have left them emotionally exhausted. You smile in front of others while secretly fighting tears behind closed doors. You encourage everyone else while your own heart feels empty. But God sees every hidden struggle. He sees every sleepless night, every silent prayer, and every moment when you felt too weak to continue. The beautiful thing about God is that He specializes in strengthening tired people. He gives peace to troubled hearts. He gives courage to fearful minds. He gives hope to those who feel hopeless. Just when you think you cannot take another step, God gives you the strength to keep moving forward. Just when you feel like quitting, He reminds you that your story is not finished yet. Sometimes God allows battles not to destroy you, but to reveal how strong you truly are through Him. Gold is tested in fire before it becomes valuable. Muscles grow stronger through resistance. With grows stronger through trials. The struggle you are facing today may actually be preparing you for the purpose God has planned for your future. Every battle is developing endurance inside you. Every challenge is teaching you how to trust God at a deeper level. Do not underestimate what God can do through a person who refuses to quit. The enemy may attack you, but he cannot stop the plan God has for your life. The storm may shake you, but it cannot destroy you when God is holding you together. You may feel weak right now, but weakness is often the place where God reveals His greatest power. Think about all the battles you have already survived. There were moments in your past when you thought you would never recover. Times when you believed the pain would destroy you completely. Yet somehow, you made it through. You are still standing today not because you are strong by yourself, but because God carried you when you had no strength left. Every breath you take is proof that His hand, has been sustaining you. This week, new battles may arise. Challenges may come unexpectedly. Some days may test your patience, your faith, and your endurance. But you must remember that God has already gone ahead of you into every situation. Nothing surprises Him. Nothing catches Him off guard. Before the problem appeared, God already had the solution prepared. Before the battle arrived, He already knew how He would bring you through it. Stop telling yourself that you are too weak. Stop believing the lie that you cannot survive another difficult season. You are stronger than you think because God's power is working within you. The same God who helped you overcome yesterday's battles will help you overcome today's struggles as well. Fear says you will fail, but faith says God will sustain you. Fear says the battle is too great, but faith says God is greater than every obstacle standing in your way. There is strength available for you right now. Strength to keep believing. Strength to keep praying. Strength to keep moving forward even when life feels uncertain. You may bend under pressure, but you will not break. You may get tired, but God will renew your spirit again. The battle may be difficult, but victory still belongs to those who trust in God. So many people walk into a new week expecting disappointment. They have been hurt too many times, delayed too many times, and rejected too many times. Life has trained them to expect closed doors instead of open ones. They wake up believing that nothing good will happen, that opportunities belong to someone else, and that success is always out of reach. But when God is involved in your life, one moment can change everything. One unexpected blessing, one divine connection, one answered prayer, or one open door can completely transform the direction of your future. That is why you must never lose hope, because divine opportunities are waiting this week. God has a way of placing blessings in front of people when they leave. Expect it. He can create opportunities that no human being could arrange. He can open doors that nobody else has the power to shut. While you are worrying about how things will happen, God is already working behind the scenes, aligning people, situations, and circumstances in ways you cannot yet see. What looks impossible to you is still completely possible with Him. There are times in life when it feels like you are stuck. You work hard but see little progress. You pray, but hear no answer. You try again and again, yet every door seems closed. During those moments, discouragement can quietly enter your heart. You begin to wonder if your opportunity will ever come. You compare yourself to others who seem ahead of you. You question your purpose and even your worth. But you must understand something important. Delays are not denials. Just because it has not happened yet does not mean God has forgotten you. Many of the greatest blessings arrive after seasons of waiting. God often prepares the person before releasing the opportunity. If He gave certain blessings too early, they could destroy you instead of helping you. So while you are waiting, God is building your character, strengthening your faith, and teaching you how to trust Him completely. The waiting season is not wasted time. It is preparation time. This week could contain the opportunity you have been praying for. It may come through a conversation, a phone call, an unexpected meeting, or a door opening that you never saw coming. The problem is that many people are so focused on fear and negativity that they fail to recognize the opportunities God places in front of them. Fear says, nothing good will happen. Faith says, God can surprise me at any moment. There are blessings connected to your obedience. Sometimes God asks you to take a step before He reveals the full picture. Opportunities often require courage. Noah built the ark before the rain came. David faced Goliath before becoming king. Moses stretched out the staff before the sea opened. Faith moves before the miracle appears. If you spend your whole life waiting until you feel completely ready, you may miss the very opportunity God is trying to place in your hands. The enemy wants you trapped in doubt because doubt keeps people from walking into their destiny. Fear convinces people to stay comfortable, to avoid risks, and to expect failure. But God did not create you to live trapped by fear. He created you with purpose, with gifts, and with potential. There are things inside you that the world still needs. There are lives you are meant to impact, places you are meant to go, and blessings you are meant to experience. Some of you have already survived battles that should have destroyed you. You have walked through heartbreak, betrayal, disappointment, and pain, yet somehow you are still standing. That alone is proof that God's hand has been upon your life. And if God protected you through your past struggles, why would He abandon your future? The same God who carried you through difficult seasons is fully able to lead you into new opportunities. Do not underestimate small beginnings. Many divine opportunities start small before they grow into something greater. A single conversation can lead to a lifelong breakthrough. One act of obedience can shift the direction of your life forever. One moment of courage can unlock a future you never imagined possible. Never despise small opportunities because God often uses small doors to lead people into greater blessings. You must also learn to prepare your mindset for opportunity. If you constantly speak defeat over your life, you will struggle to recognize blessings when they appear. Stop saying, "Nothing good ever happens to me." Stop believing that your best days are behind you. Your words carry power. Begin speaking with expectation. Begin believing that God is still able to do exceedingly and abundantly above what you can imagine. This week, wake up with expectation instead of fear. Expect God to guide your steps. Expect Him to provide wisdom, favor, and direction. Expect Him to place the right people in your path. Expect Him to create opportunities where there once seemed to be none. Even if things have been difficult lately, refuse to let disappointment steal your hope. Some opportunities will test your faith. Some blessings will require you to leave comfort behind. Growth often begins where comfort ends. You cannot walk into new seasons while holding on to old fears. Sometimes God will call you to trust Him beyond what feels safe or familiar. That is where miracles happen. There are doors that no person can close when God decides to open them for you. People may reject you, overlook you, or underestimate you, but they cannot stop what God has planned for your life. Human opinions do not cancel divine purpose. If God has ordained an opportunity for you, it will arrive at the right time. Stay faithful, stay hopeful, stay prepared. Because this week may hold the very breakthrough you have been praying for. One of the greatest battles many people face is not the struggle in front of them, but the pain they continue carrying from behind them. There are countless people walking into new days while still chained to old wounds, old disappointments, old failures, and old regrets. Their bodies move forward, but their hearts remain trapped in yesterday. They wake up every morning replaying painful memories, reliving moments that hurt them, and carrying burdens God never intended them to hold forever. But if you are going to rise into the future God has prepared for you, there comes a moment when you must make a decision to leave yesterday's pain behind and rise again. Pain has a way of changing people. Betrayal can make people fearful. Disappointment can make people hopeless. Failure can make people doubt themselves. There are people who once dreamed boldly, prayed confidently, and believed passionately, but after going through painful seasons, they became cautious, discouraged, and emotionally exhausted. The enemy loves when pain turns into bitterness, because bitterness slowly steals joy, peace, and faith. He wants people trapped in their past, so they never fully step into their future. Some people listening right now have been hurt deeply. Maybe someone betrayed your trust. Maybe you gave your best to people who did not appreciate you. Maybe you prayed for something that never happened the way you expected. Maybe life knocked you down so many times that you started questioning whether you would ever recover. There are wounds people cannot see from the outside. Smiles can hide broken hearts. Strong appearances can hide deep emotional battles. But God sees every hidden pain that others overlook. The beautiful truth is that God is not intimidated by your brokenness. He specializes in restoring wounded hearts and rebuilding shattered lives. He knows how to take pain and turn it into purpose. He knows Him. How to use what was meant to destroy you as part of the testimony that will strengthen others. Your pain may have changed you, but it does not have to define you forever. Too many people allow one painful season to convince them that their whole life will always be miserable. They believe because they failed once, they will always fail. Because they were rejected once, they will always be unwanted. Because they experienced heartbreak once, they will never love or trust again. But your past experiences do not determine your future destiny. One chapter does not define the entire story. God is still writing your story, and He knows how to bring beauty from ashes. There comes a moment when healing begins with a decision to stop living as a prisoner of yesterday, a decision to stop replaying old failures in your mind, a decision to stop allowing past pain to poison present opportunities. You cannot fully embrace what God has ahead of you while constantly looking backward. Holding onto pain may feel familiar, but it also keeps people stuck. That does not mean healing happens instantly. Some wounds take time to recover from. Some scars run deep. But healing becomes possible when you stop feeding the pain and start feeding your faith. Every day, you have a choice about which voice you will listen to. Will you listen to the voice of fear, bitterness, and discouragement? Or will you listen to the voice of God reminding you that your best days are not over? Think about how many times God has already brought you through difficult situations. There were moments when you thought you would never recover, yet somehow you survived. There were nights filled with tears, confusion, and exhaustion, but you made it through those seasons. That was not an accident. The hand of God has been sustaining you even during the moments when you felt weak and hopeless. The enemy wanted your pain to destroy your future, but God can use it to strengthen your character. Pain often His lessons comfort never could. Some people discover their true strength only after surviving hardship. Some people learn how faithful God is only after walking through storms. The very battle you wanted to avoid may have developed wisdom, endurance, compassion, and spiritual maturity inside you. Do not allow yesterday's pain to steal today's possibilities. There are still blessings waiting for you. There are still opportunities ahead. There is still joy your heart can experience again. There is still purpose connected to your life. Just because you were wounded does not mean your life is over. Just because you fell does not mean you cannot rise again. Rising again requires courage. It takes courage to trust after disappointment. It takes courage to believe again after failure. It takes courage to keep moving forward when life has hurt you deeply. But courage does not mean you are never afraid. Courage means you refuse to let fear control your future. Some people are waiting for fear to become easy before they move forward. But healing and growth often happen while you continue walking. God may not remove every struggle overnight, but He will give you strength for each step forward. You do not have to carry every burden by yourself. You were never meant to fight life's battles alone. Today is the day to stop giving your past more power than your future. Stop letting old pain speak louder than God's promises. Stop believing that your worst moment defines who you are. You are more than your mistakes, more than your disappointments, more than your heartbreak. God still has plans for your life that pain cannot destroy. The same God who lifted you before can lift you again. The same God who restored others can restore you too. Your tears were not wasted. Your struggle was not meaningless. Your story is still unfolding, and there is still hope ahead. No matter how broken you may feel today, you can rise again with God's strength carrying you forward. One of the hard things for people to do is trust God when life feels heavy. It is easy to have faith when prayers are answered quickly, when doors are opening, and when everything seems to be going well. But real faith is revealed during the difficult seasons. Real trust is tested when the waiting becomes long, when the pain becomes deep, and when the future feels uncertain. There are moments in life when people begin asking questions they never thought they would ask. God, where are you? Why is this happening to me? How much longer must I wait? These questions often rise when life feels overwhelming and the burden becomes difficult to carry. But even in those moments, you must learn to trust God's timing, even when life feels heavy. Many people become discouraged because they expect everything to happen immediately. They pray today and expect the answer tomorrow. They want instant breakthroughs, instant healing, instant success, and instant change. But God often works differently than human expectations. His timing is not rushed, delayed, or accidental. He sees the full picture while we only see small pieces. What feels slow to us is often preparation in God's hands. Sometimes people mistake waiting for abandonment. When answers do not come quickly, they assume God has forgotten them. But silence does not mean absence. Just because you cannot see God working does not mean He is doing nothing. There are seasons when God is moving behind the scenes, arranging circumstances, preparing opportunities, protecting you from unseen dangers, and developing strength inside you that you will need later. Think about how many times you wanted something immediately, only to later realize that you were not truly ready for it. Sometimes delays are actually protection. God sees dangers you cannot see. He knows when certain doors would hurt you instead of helping you. He understands the timing of your life better than you ever could. While you are focused on your immediate desires, God is focused on your eternal purpose. Life becomes heavy when people try to carry burdens without surrendering them to God. Worry slowly drains peace. Fear steals rest from the mind. Anxiety creates pressure that weighs down the heart. Many people are exhausted not only because of their circumstances, but because they are trying to control outcomes they were never meant to control. Some battles belong to God, not to you. There are people listening right now who feel emotionally exhausted. You have prayed repeatedly about situations that still have not changed. You are tired of waiting, tired of struggling, tired of carrying silent pain while pretending everything is fine. Some mornings you wake up already discouraged because the weight of life feels so heavy. But hear this truth clearly. God has not abandoned you in your waiting season. The waiting season often develops qualities inside people that comfort never could. Patience is developed while waiting. Endurance is strengthened while I'm waiting. Trust deepens while waiting. Anyone can praise God when everything is easy, but it takes real faith to trust Him when you do not understand what He is doing. The enemy wants you to grow impatient because impatience often leads people into fear, frustration, and bad decisions. When people stop trusting God's timing, they start forcing doors open that God never intended for them. They rush into relationships, opportunities, or choices that eventually bring more pain. But when you trust God's timing, you learn that some blessings are worth waiting for. God is never late. He may not arrive according to your schedule, but He always arrives at the right moment. There were countless moments in Scripture where people thought hope was gone, yet God stepped in exactly when He intended to. Abraham waited years for the promise God gave him. Joseph endured betrayal and prison before stepping into purpose. David was anointed king long before he ever sat on the throne. The process was part infall, but the delay was part of preparation. You may not understand why certain things are taking longer than expected, but your lack of understanding does not mean God lacks a plan. Faith means trusting God even when the path ahead feels unclear. It means believing that His wisdom is greater than your emotions. It means continuing to move forward even when you do not yet see the final outcome. Do not let temporary struggles convince you that your future is hopeless. Heavy seasons do not last forever. Storms eventually pass. Tears eventually dry. Difficult chapters eventually end. The same God who carried you through previous battles will also carry you through this season. You have survived difficult days before, and with God's help, you will survive again. Sometimes God allows heavy seasons because He is building spiritual strength inside you. Muscles grow stronger under resistance. Faith also grows stronger through trials. The pressure you feel today may actually be preparing you for the blessings, responsibilities, and opportunities waiting ahead. God knows what your future requires, and He uses present struggles to shape you into the person capable of handling what is coming. Do not measure God's faithfulness by how quickly things happen. His love for you is not determined by the speed of the answer. Even when heaven feels silent, God is still near. Even when life feels heavy, His hand is still upon you. Even when you feel weak, He is still your source of strength. This season may not make sense right now, but one day you may look back and realize that God was protecting you, preparing you, and guiding you the entire time. The waiting was not punishment. The delay was not rejection. God was simply working according to a greater plan than you could see in the moment. So keep praying even when answers feel delayed. Keep believing even when life feels uncertain. Keep trusting even when the burden feels heavy. God's timing is perfect, and He knows exactly who and to open every door, answer every prayer, and bring every promise to pass. There are moments in life when people feel completely surrounded by darkness. Problems appear from every direction. Fear attacks the mind. Pressure weighs heavily on the heart. Unexpected struggles arrive one after another until a person begins to wonder if things will ever get better. Some wake up every morning already exhausted because life feels like a constant battle. They smile in front of others while secretly carrying anxiety, disappointment, and silent pain inside. But no matter how dark the situation may seem today, you must remember this powerful truth. Your miracle can begin this very morning. Too many people believe miracles only happen to others. They think breakthrough belongs to someone else. They hear stories of restored lives, answered prayers, healed hearts, and impossible situations turning around, yet secretly wonder if God will ever move in their own life. Disappointment has caused them to lower their expectations. Pain has made them afraid to hope again. But God is still a miracle-working God. He has not lost His power. He has not forgotten your prayers. And He is still able to do what human strength cannot accomplish. Miracles often begin when people reach the end of themselves. As long as people rely completely on their own understanding, they struggle to fully depend on God. But when human strength fails, God's power becomes more visible. Some of the greatest miracles happen in moments that seemed hopeless. Seas do not normally open. Giants do not normally fall with stones. Prisons do not normally shake open at midnight. Yet throughout history, God has repeatedly shown that impossible situations are not difficult for Him. There are people listening right now who desperately need a miracle. Some need peace in their mind because fear and stress have stolen their rest. Some need healing in their body because sickness has drained their strength. Some need restoration in broken relationships. Some need financial breakthrough after months or years of struggle. Others need emotional healing from pain they have carried silently for far too long. Human solutions may have failed, but God's ability has not changed. The enemy wants people trapped in hopelessness because hopelessness weakens faith. When people stop expecting God to move, they slowly lose the courage to keep praying, believing, and fighting forward. The devil wants you convinced that your situation will never improve. He wants you to believe the pain is permanent and the struggle is endless. But hopelessness is a lie. As long as God is involved, there is always hope. Miracles rarely happen according to human logic. They often appear when circumstances seem impossible. That is why faith is so important. Faith believes before seeing. Faith trusts God before understanding. Faith continues praying even when the answer has not yet appeared. Some people give up too early because they judge themselves, our future based on present circumstances. But your current situation is not the final authority over your life. God always has the final word. Sometimes miracles begin quietly. Not every miracle arrives with dramatic signs and sudden changes. Sometimes the first miracle is simply waking up with strength to continue. Sometimes it is finding peace in the middle of chaos. Sometimes it is discovering hope after months of discouragement. God often starts working inside a person before circumstances around them begin to change. You may not realize it yet, but even surviving difficult seasons is evidence that God's hand has been sustaining you. There were moments when the pressure should have broken you completely, yet somehow you kept going. There were nights when tears filled your eyes, but you still made it to another morning. That was not your strength alone. God has been carrying you through battles you thought would destroy you. Do not allow fear to stop you from believing again. Fear focuses on limitations, but faith focuses on God's power. Fear says the situation is too far gone. Faith says nothing is impossible with God. Fear says your story is over. Faith says God is still writing new chapters. Every morning carries new mercy, new grace, and new possibilities. Yesterday's failures do not control today's opportunities. The mistakes you made do not cancel God's purpose for your life. Some people spend so much time looking backward that they fail to see the new things God is trying to do ahead of them. But this morning can be different. This morning can mark the beginning of healing, restoration, peace, and breakthrough. Miracles often require people to let go of doubt. Doubt keeps people trapped in fear and hesitation. God calls people to trust Him even when they cannot see the full picture. The woman with the issue of blood pushed through the crowd despite years of suffering. Blind Bartimaeus kept calling out even when others told him to stay silent. Their mirror. Eckley began the moment they refused to give up. There is power in expecting God to move. When you wake up believing that nothing will ever change, discouragement controls your spirit. But when you wake up with expectation, your heart becomes open to what God can do. Expect His peace to strengthen you. Expect His favor to guide you. Expect His power to work in situations that seem impossible. No situation is beyond God's reach. No heart is too broken for Him to restore. No life is too damaged for Him to rebuild. The same God who performed miracles in the past is still working today. Your pain is not permanent. Your struggle is not endless. Your setback is not the end of your story. This very morning could become the turning point you have been praying for. The breakthrough may not happen exactly how you imagine, but God knows how to bring beauty from brokenness and hope from despair. Even now, while you are listening, He is able to strengthen weak hearts, open impossible doors, restore lost hope, and begin miracles that will completely change the direction of your life.